Hey there, guys. Chet here. Every single week, I talk to business owners who are completely frustrated with their sales software. They pay for Pipedrive every month, but they feel like they're only using a tiny fraction of what it can actually do. Their pipelines are a complete mess. Their sales reps are complaining, and they are not seeing any real return on their investment. But the harsh truth is that the software isn't the problem. Pipedrive is not a magic wand that automatically just closes deals for you. It's an engine, and if you put garbage fuel into an engine, it's going to run terribly. Today, I'm going to share my 5 golden rules for using Pipedrive. These are the exact principles I force my private consulting clients to follow. If you actually enforce these 5 rules on your sales floor, I absolutely guarantee that your sales team will stop dropping leads and your reporting will become laser accurate and your revenue will also increase. But before we jump into rule number 1, here's a deal. It's a pretty massive gift. If you look into the description below, you'll see a link for an exclusive 30-day free trial of Pipedrive. If you go straight to their website, you're only going to get 14 days. My link gives you a full month to implement these 5 rules completely risk-free. And if you decide to keep using it after the trial, the discount is applied automatically when you use my link. That means that you will be using the same powerful Pipedrive for less than what others pay. I've also linked my completely free Pipedrive masterclass to help you train your team. Grab those links. Let's dive in. Let's start with the first rule. If a conversation is not recorded in Pipedrive, well, then that conversation didn't happen. It's the most important rule of the entire system. It's a very simple philosophy, but it's incredibly hard for salespeople to follow. If you have to create a ruthless culture in your office, then do it. If a sales rep has a 20-minute phone call with a client, but they don't log that call in the software, you've got to treat it like the call never happened. If they send a text message from their personal phone and they don't copy it into the CRM, it doesn't count. Every single interaction must be recorded in the timeline of the deal. The reason rather that this is so critical is because of human memory. When you're working on a deal that takes 6 months to close, you are going to forget the tiny details. A client might tell you in March that they need to wait for their new budget in October. If you don't write that down exactly as they said it, you're going to call them back in July and you're going to look like an idiot. When you enforce this rule, Pipedrive becomes the single source of truth for your entire company. If a sales rep gets sick or goes on vacation, another team member can open the deal, read the entire history from top to bottom, and pick up the conversation exactly where it left off. You never have to ask yourself or your team, what are you working on? Because you can just look at the activity log. Rule number 2, you must ensure that every single open deal always has a future activity attached to it. This rule is really the absolute core of the Pipedrive philosophy. You cannot control whether a client signs a contract. Unfortunately, I wish we could. You cannot control whether they have the budget. Only thing that you can control is your own physical actions. Therefore, you must never allow a deal to sit in your pipeline without a scheduled future activity attached to it. I see this mistake constantly. A sales rep sends out a massive proposal, works forever on it. They feel great about it, so they just leave the deal sitting in the proposal sent stage, and then they wait for the client to call them back. That's not selling, that's hoping. Your job as a professional is to maintain the momentum. The exact second that you send that proposal, what do? You got to schedule a follow-up task for at least 2 days later. If you look at your pipeline and you see a yellow warning icon next to a deal, it means you've broken this rule. The deal is rotting because nobody is actively pushing it forward. You should train your team to work entirely from their daily activity list. They should wake up, open their list of tasks for the day, and then just execute. If they complete their list, they go home. If they always schedule a next step, a good lead will literally never fall through the cracks again. A great tip for scheduling your next activity is to simply ask the client, what is the next best step from here? That takes the pressure off. The client will usually tell you exactly when to call them back, and then you just put that exact date into your Pipedrive calendar, and boom. Rule number 3, you must learn to lose your dead deals ruthlessly instead of holding on to them. This is one that dies hard. I get it. This sounds completely backward. Your job is to win sales, right? Or win deals, not to lose them. But keeping dead deals alive is actually poisoning your pipeline. Salespeople hate clicking the lost button. It hurts their ego. I get it. So instead of marking a deal as lost, they just drag it into a custom stage called long-term follow-up or cold leads. They build these massive holding pens with hundreds of people who are not ever going to buy anything. It's a terrible practice for 2 reasons. First, it completely destroys your conversion rate data. If you move a deal into a holding pen instead of marking them as lost, your reports will not show you where you are actually failing. Second, it creates visual clutter. You want your pipeline to contain hot, active opportunities. If a prospect tells you they don't have the money, or if they stop returning your calls for 3 weeks, you need to be professional and mark the deal as lost. Select the specific reason why you lost it so that you can track that data later. Just because a deal is lost doesn't mean it's deleted. You can still schedule an activity on a lost deal to call them back in, let's say, 6 months. Get the dead weight off your visual board so that you can focus your energy on the people who actually want to buy right now. The fourth rule is all about your daily habits because you need to update your software in real time instead of waiting until the end of the week. Pipedrive is not a chore that you do at the end of the week. It is a live dashboard that should be open on your computer screen all day long. I see sales teams who only log into the software on Friday afternoons. They spend 2 hours just trying to remember everything they did all week, typing in messy notes and dragging deals across the board all at once. This is a terrible strategy. If you wait 3 days to log your notes, you're absolutely going to forget all of the important details. You'll forget the names of the client's children or the specific objection they had about your pricing. Pipedrive is designed to be fast. When you finish a phone call, you should immediately type your notes into the deal card while the adrenaline is still pumping. It takes 30 seconds. If you update in real time, the software always reflects the exact reality of your business at that specific second. Your manager can pull a report on Tuesday morning and know exactly where the revenue stands. Don't treat your CRM like a historical archive. Treat it like a live steering wheel. Finally, the fifth golden rule is that no matter how much technology you use, you must always keep your communication personal. We live in a world obsessed with automation. Everyone wants to build robots to send emails and book meetings while they sleep. Automation is fantastic for moving data around and creating tasks, but you should never fully automate your high value follow up. If you've already had a real conversation with a prospect and you have sent them a custom proposal, you can't just drop them into an automated email drip campaign. That feels cheap, and the client will instantly know a robot is talking to them. People buy from people they trust. You should definitely use Pipedrive's email templates to save time, but before you click send, you must add a personal touch. If you use a template to follow up on a proposal, take 10 seconds, add a sentence at the beginning, say, "Hey, John, I hope your son's baseball game went well this weekend." That tiny piece of personalization proves that you actually listened to them on the last phone call. You should also mix up your communication style. Don't just send 5 emails in a row. Send an email on Monday, leave a voicemail on Wednesday, and send a quick text message on Friday. Find out how the client actually prefers to communicate. There's an idea. Automation will help you work faster, but genuine human connection is the only thing that actually closes the deal. I know it's a lot. If you enforce these 5 golden rules, though, on your sales floor, your entire business will transform. Your team will stop making excuses. Your pipeline will be perfectly clean, and your revenue will become predictable. If you want to test this out for yourself, click that link in the description right now and get your extended 30-day free trial of Pipedrive. Import your contacts, set up your stages, and start building these habits today. And then don't forget about my completely free Pipedrive training course linked below so that you can master the technical side of the software. You'll have access to that too. Enforce the rules, close more deals, and I will see you in the next video.